turning this very steep bank into a terraced garden bed. We have one on the upper and then one on the lower, and this is the one I'm getting ready to do the modification on. It's old. Both of these beds are 10 years old, and all of the wood around them is done. So I bought some birdie bed kits for the farm and decided that I would use one to refurbish this bed. So we're gonna see how it goes. So I've come in and I've made a trench down into the edge of the bed, which I will put this panel in. The holes in the panel are lining up with the T-post that is holding up the top tier of the terraced garden. So I lined up the holes with the T-posts, and I will come back with a steel tapper and lock that in. I've carved out the edge of the bed to match the corner. And now I'll just put this together as if it was not a bed yet. And start running a straight line down all the way to that T-post. All right, so I have the metal extended all the way down to the end of the bed. There's a gap here in between. These beds come with stabilizers. They come with these support systems to keep the sides from buckling out. You put these in as you're building it, and remember to do that. And they hook to another hook that hooks to the other side. Well, I don't have the other side, so what I've decided to do, I'm going to use a piece of rebar to stabilize that. So I'll run the rebar down this hole. I've done the same thing on this end that I did on the other end, where I have just dug into the side of the hill. I did decide to raise it. You can see how I went in increments to get this side of the bed higher. And it's because it would have ended up just coming out very low, being like knee-high to a grasshopper. And I have a blind dog. So we have to protect her from getting into the beds. And I didn't necessarily want something she could just walk over the side and then get stuck in here and destroy all the plants, which has happened before. So this will be good for her. Oh my goodness, finally able to get to the point that I could even turn this bed with a fork to rejuvenate it. Finally got all of the modifications, quote unquote, put into place to make this work. Very happy with it, yes. But this took 4 inches of rain. It took Hurricane Helene to make this happen. I did get a nice little harvest of dandelion and some rogue parsnips from down there on the end. But now that this is finally forkable and I've turned it and gotten the weeds out. So I've already put the layer of new compost, fresh compost in, and then next I'm just gonna run a layer of potting mix, an organic moisture control potting mix. And I'll just do a layer of that on top and go ahead and plant. This is one of the new beds. Doing well. Growing a lot of green beans. We have some kale down in the center. The beds are nice. I like them. And here's a third one that was just finished. This one again, I just made pieces. That's a piece of roofing that is in the back. So between this partial bed and the partial bed there, that was one bed turned into 2 beds. And this one just planted with baby carrots and just coming up now. And then this is another of the full kits put together. together. This area was an herb garden. There's still some herbs here and in between the beds down there. This one is busy growing some kale, carrots, and baby chard for picking. A couple green beans hanging out down here. So yeah, it turned a very long, narrow section of in-ground herb beds into a very long section of raised beds. This area gets about 3 hours of direct sun midday and grows lettuce and cool weather things in the heat of the summer.